That was the moment everything changed. The moment I stopped hiding behind fear and chose her over safety. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you how a 30-year-old marketing analyst fell for the one woman he absolutely could not have and why going public would cost us both everything we'd worked for. My name is Ryan Foster. I work in digital marketing for Morrison Tech, a mid-sized software company trying hard to compete with the big players. The work is demanding. The politics are exhausting. But the paycheck keeps me in Seattle instead of moving back to my hometown where my mom keeps asking when I'll settle down with someone nice. I'd been playing it safe my whole life. Safe major in college, safe career path, safe relationships that ended because, according to my ex-girlfriend Jess, I was emotionally unavailable and terrified of real commitment. She wasn't wrong, until Victoria Morrison, CEO of Morrison Tech, made safe feel like the biggest waste of time I'd ever committed to. I'd seen Victoria around the office for 6 months before we actually spoke. Always impeccable, always composed, dark hair cut sharp at her shoulders, suits that probably cost more than my rent, eyes that missed nothing. She was 45, recently divorced, and every inch the kind of woman who commanded rooms without raising her voice. Then one Friday in March, the elevator broke. I was heading down from the 15th floor when it lurched to a stop between 9 and 8. Emergency lights flickered on. My stomach dropped. "Wonderful," a voice said behind me. I turned. Victoria Morrison, alone with me in a broken elevator. "I had a board call in 10 minutes, she said, checking her phone. No signal. She looked at me properly for the first time. "You're Ryan. Marketing. The Peterson campaign? You know my name?" "I know everyone's name. Especially people who deliver results." She leaned against the wall, kicked off her heels. "We might be here a while?" Emergency button is pressed. Now we wait. 20 minutes. That's how long it took for the elevator to restart. 20 minutes of conversation that changed everything. "Your ex-girlfriend," she said at minute 12, somehow having steered the conversation there, "said you were emotionally unavailable. You were listening to that? Small space, good acoustics. Was she right?" I should have deflected. Instead, I said, "Probably. I spent 3 years with someone I liked but didn't love. She wanted more. I wanted safe. And now? Now I'm single and my mom thinks I'm wasting my youth." Victoria laughed. Actually laughed. "I'm 45 and my mother thinks I wasted my youth on my career. There's no winning. Is that why you got divorced?" Bold question, inappropriate question. She should have shut me down. Instead, she said, "My ex-husband thought I was married to this company, not him. He wasn't entirely wrong. I built Morrison Tech from 3 employees to 300. That took everything I had. Was it worth it?" She looked at me. Really looked. "Ask me in another 20 minutes. The elevator started moving at minute 21. We made it to the lobby. She stepped into her heels, transformed back into the CEO. "Thank you for the conversation, Ryan," she said formally. "Anytime you need an elevator, buddy," I replied. She smiled. Small. Knowing. I'll keep that in mind. I should have left it there. Should have gone back to my safe, predictable life. But Monday morning, I found a handwritten note on my desk. "Coffee? My office. 4 p.m. VM. I went. Of course I went. Her office was corner suite, floor-to-ceiling windows, view of Puget Sound. She poured coffee from an actual French press, not the break room sludge we all drank. "Sit," she said, gesturing to the leather couch. Not the chairs across from her desk. The couch. I sat. She sat next to me, close enough to feel intentional. "I don't normally do this," she started. "Do what?" "Notice people, beyond their work performance." She set down her coffee. "But I haven't been able to stop thinking about our elevator conversation." My heart was suddenly very loud. "Me neither." "This is inappropriate," she said. "Completely. I'm your CEO. I'm aware. You're 30 years old. And you're the most interesting person I've met in years." Wrong thing to say. Right thing to say. Her eyes darkened. "Ryan," her assistant knocked. "Mrs. Morrison? The board is ready. Coming." She stood, suddenly all business again. "We should talk more." "Dinner." "Not here." Somewhere discreet. Are you asking me on a date? I'm asking you to make a dangerous decision. She handed me her card with a phone number written on the back. My personal cell. Text me if you're interested in being reckless. She left. I sat there with her card, coffee getting cold, wondering what the hell I was doing. I texted her that night. How reckless are we talking? She replied, reckless enough to ruin us both. Still interested? Terrifyingly, yes. Tomorrow. That was the beginning. The restaurant was in Bellevue, 30 minutes from downtown. Quiet, expensive. The kind of place where privacy costs as much as the food. She was already there. Hair down. Jeans. I'd never seen her in jeans. She looked younger, dangerous. Hi, I said, sliding into the booth. Hi. She poured wine without asking. Red, expensive smelling. I've been thinking about this all day. About whether this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. It definitely is. She sipped her wine. But I'm tired of being smart. Smart got me a company and a divorce and a reputation for being untouchable. I don't want to be untouchable anymore. What do you want? She looked at me, held my gaze. Something that feels real, even if it's temporary, even if it destroys everything I've built. That's a lot of pressure for a first date. She laughed. This isn't a first date. First dates are safe. This is. She trailed off. Reckless? I supplied. Exactly. We talked for 3 hours. About her divorce, 15 years, married to someone who resented her success. About my fear of commitment, 3 years, with someone I liked but never loved. About the age gap, 15 years, undeniable, impossible to ignore. People will judge, she said quietly. They'll say I'm your boss taking advantage. That you're a boy toy. That I'm pathetic. And you care? I've spent 20 years building a reputation. Yes, I care. She leaned forward. But I also care about this. Whatever this is. And I hate that I do. I'm terrified, I admitted. Of you. Of this. Of how much I want something I shouldn't want. Good. Fear means it matters. She drove me back to my car. Parked next to me in the empty garage. I should go, I said, not moving. You should. Neither of us moved. The space between us hummed with everything we weren't saying. If we do this, she said finally, it has to be secret. How long is for now? I don't know. Maybe forever. Maybe until one of us gets tired of hiding. Can you live with that? I should have said no. Should have walked away from something so impossible. Yes, I said instead. She kissed me. Quick. Desperate. Then pulled back. Go home, Ryan. Before I do something even more stupid. I went. But I was already gone. 3 months of hiding followed. 3 months of the most intense, terrifying, exhilarating secrecy of my life. Week 1. We were careful. Dinners in Tacoma, 40 miles away. Her condo downtown where no one from work lived. Separate cars always. Texts that could be explained as work-related. At the office, we were distant, professional, cold even. Week 2, the elevator became our place. 3rd floor, 7:15 p.m., after most people left. 2 minutes stolen between her late meetings and my fake overtime. I'd ride up from lobby. She'd get in at 15. Doors would close. Tuesday night, week 2. The elevator started moving. She was pressed against the back wall, me blocking the security camera's view. This is insane, she breathed, hand fisted in my tie. Completely, I agreed, kissing her neck. We're going to get caught. Probably. The elevator slowed. 10th floor. We jumped apart. She fixed her lipstick in the polished doors. I adjusted my tie. Marketing intern got on, oblivious. By the time we reached lobby, we were strangers again. But my collar had her lipstick on it. I checked obsessively in my car, scrubbing it with water from my gym bottle. Week 4. Close call number 1. Company happy hour at a downtown bar. Everyone was going. We had to go. Had to pretend we barely knew each other. I was talking to Jake from sales when I saw her across the room. Black dress, laughing at something the CFO said, looking perfect and untouchable. Our eyes met for half a second. Then, Nothing. Back to strangers. An hour in, I went to the bathroom. Came out to find her waiting in the hallway. "This is killing me," she said quietly. "Watching you across the room and not being able to touch you?" We agreed. I know what we agreed. She glanced back at the bar. No one watching. Storage closet. End of the hall. 2 minutes. "Victoria, please. I need 2 minutes where you're not a stranger." The storage closet smelled like cleaning supplies and desperation. We were pressed between mop buckets and industrial shelving. Most unglamorous, most necessary moment of my life. "I'm falling for you," she whispered against my mouth. "Actually falling. Not just the thrill of hiding. You." "I'm already gone," I said. Footsteps outside. Close. We froze. My hand over her mouth, her arms around my waist, hearts pounding loud enough to give us away. Saw Morrison head this direction, probably taking a call. The voices faded. We stayed frozen another 30 seconds. Then she started laughing silent, shoulders shaking, terrified and exhilarated. "We're idiots," she whispered. "Complete idiots," I agreed. We kissed anyway. Desperate. Necessary. The kind of kiss that decides things. Week 8. Everything escalated. The marketing director called me into his office. "Ryan, great news. Your lead on Reynolds' account." My stomach dropped. Reynolds was huge. Fortune 500 client. Reporting structure went straight to Victoria. Weekly check-ins with Morrison herself, he continued. "Big opportunity. Don't mess this up." That night at her place, "This is getting complicated." "It's been complicated," I said. "No, this is different. You're reporting to me now. People will watch every interaction. Every decision I make regarding your work will be scrutinized. So, we're more careful. Ryan." She sat on her couch, exhausted. My assistant commented today that I seemed lighter. Asked if I was seeing someone. "People are noticing." "What did you say?" "That I was sleeping better." "Which is a lie. I haven't slept well in 2 months." She looked at me. "I lie awake wondering when this ends. When you realize I'm too old, too complicated, too dangerous to your career. I lie awake wondering when you realize you deserve someone better than a 30-year-old analyst who's terrified of his own feelings." "We're a disaster," she said. "Completely. Worth it, though?" I kissed her answer into existence. Slow. Certain. Every disaster second. We weren't sleeping that night either. But for better reasons. She fell asleep with her head on my chest, my hand in her hair, both of us breathing the same air. In the morning, I'd have to sneak out before dawn so no one saw my car in her building's garage. In the morning, we'd go back to being strangers at work. But right then, in her bed, in the dark, we were everything. Week 10. The first real scare. Monday morning. Anonymous email to HR. Check Victoria Morrison's relationship with Ryan Foster. Inappropriate. I found out because Jake from sales told me. "Dude, I covered for you. Said you're always at happy hours with the team. But someone's watching." My hands shook, typing the text. "HR got a tip. Someone knows." Her reply. "Come to my place tonight. We need to talk." I went. Of course I went. She had wine open. Not drinking, just holding the glass. "We have 2 options," she said. "Stop completely, or come clean. There's no third option. Be more careful." "Ryan, someone is actively watching us. Documenting. If they have photos, texts, anything concrete, we're done. Both of us. So we stop. Can you?" She set down the wine. "Because I can't. I tried. All day. I tried to imagine not seeing you. Going back to before. I can't do it." "Neither can I." "Then we have a problem. Because hiding isn't working. And coming clean means losing everything." She stood, paced to the window. City lights reflected in the glass, making her look like she was suspended in space. "My ex-husband is filing a lawsuit," she said suddenly. "Patent disputes. Claiming he's owed equity in the company. It's all over the business news. I'm stressed, barely sleeping, snapping at people. I know. I wanted to help. Couldn't. Not at work. That's the problem. You're the one person I need, And you're the one person I can't have. Not publicly. Her voice broke. I'm tired, Ryan. Tired of being strong. Tired of hiding. Tired of pretending I don't need anyone. I crossed to her, put my arms around her from behind, felt her sag against me. What if we didn't hide anymore? She whispered. What are you saying? She turned in my arms, eyes red, exhausted, determined. I'm saying I don't want to be your secret anymore. I want to go public. Tell HR. Face whatever consequences come. Because hiding you feels like being ashamed of you. And I'm not. My heart stopped. Victoria, I know what it costs. My reputation. Maybe my company. Definitely judgment and gossip and people saying I'm a desperate older woman seducing young employees. She touched my face. But I'm falling in love with you. And I can't keep you in the shadows. I'd rather have you publicly and deal with the fallout than keep you secret and lose myself. I stood there, brain screaming all the reasons this was impossible. Going public meant HR investigation, possible termination for both of us, her reputation destroyed, my career branded as slept his way up, her ex-husband's lawyers using this against her, everyone talking about us, maybe losing everything we'd worked for. Say something, she whispered. I thought about safe Ryan. The Ryan who dated Jess for 3 years without really loving her, who chose predictable over passionate, who played it safe and ended up alone. I thought about Victoria, brilliant, vulnerable, terrifying, offering me something real and dangerous and alive. I thought about hiding in elevators and deleted texts and pretending she was just my boss when she was so much more. Then, be my everything, I said. Publicly. She stared at me. What? You heard me. You want to go public? Let's go nuclear. Let's tell HR on Monday. Face the investigation together. I stepped closer. I'm tired of hiding too. Tired of pretending you don't make every room brighter. That I don't count down minutes until I can see you. That I'm not completely, stupidly in love with you. Ryan, you could lose your job. Then I'll find another job. People will judge. Let them. I'm 30 years old and I finally found something worth being brave for. She kissed me. Desperate. Certain. Different than every other kiss, this one tasted like freedom. Monday, she said. We go to HR together. Together, I agreed. We didn't leave her place that weekend. Stayed in, planning, terrified, exhilarated, making lists of everyone we needed to tell. Monday morning, 9 a.m., HR office. Victoria in her CEO armor. Me in my best suit. Together. We need to disclose a relationship, Victoria said clearly. Ryan and I have been dating for 3 months. We understand company policy and accept whatever consequences apply. Janet from HR looked between us, shocked, calculating. You're the CEO, she said slowly. I'm aware. And he reports to you. Not directly. Different departments. But yes, there's a power imbalance. This is unprecedented. Janet pulled out paperwork. I'll need to schedule an investigation. Interview colleagues. Review any decisions that might have been influenced. You both understand this could result in termination? We understand, I said. I'll need statements from both of you. Separately. She looked at Victoria. Mrs. Morrison, the board will need to be notified. Victoria's hand found mine under the table. Squeezed once. Then we'll deal with that, she said. But we're not hiding anymore. The investigation took 3 weeks. 3 weeks that felt like 3 years. Day 1, everyone knew. The gossip was immediate and vicious. I walked into the break room. Conversation stopped. People stared. Someone whispered boy toy loud enough for me to hear. My desk had a sticky note. How's the boss? With a winking face. I threw it away. Found 3 more by lunch. Jake from sales pulled me aside. Dude, Morrison? The CEO? Are you insane? Probably. Everyone's talking. They're saying you slept your way to Reynolds' account, that she's having a midlife crisis, that you're using her for promotions. We're in love, I said. He stared at me. You're serious? Completely. You're crazy. This is going to destroy both of you. He wasn't wrong. Day 3. My HR interview. Janet sat across from me, recorder running. Tell me about your relationship with Mrs. Morrison. We've been dating for 3 months. It started outside of work. We kept it secret because we knew it looked bad. Did she ever offer you special treatment? Promotions? Projects? Preferential assignments? No. Every project I got was merit-based. The Reynolds account. Major client. Reporting directly to her. That seems convenient. I earned that account. My director assigned it before Victoria and I were even dating. She made notes. Other employees have reported seeing you two together. In elevators. After hours. One anonymous report claims you two were in a supply closet during a company event. My face burned. We were trying to hide. We knew how it looked. It looks like an inappropriate power dynamic. A CEO pursuing a subordinate. She didn't pursue me. It was mutual. Mr. Foster, you're 30. She's 45. She's your CEO. There's an inherent power imbalance that makes mutual questionable. I wanted to argue. Wanted to defend us. But how do you explain that love doesn't care about optics? Day 8. Victoria's interview was worse. She told me about it that night at her place. We were barely sleeping, both stressed to breaking. They asked if I was having a midlife crisis, she said, voice flat. If I was emotionally compromised by my divorce. If I understood how my actions reflected on the company. What did you say? That my personal life is my business. That I've delivered 13 consecutive quarters of growth. That this relationship has zero impact on my competence. Her hands shook, holding her wine glass. They asked if I was prepared to resign. What? The board might require it. To protect company reputation. She looked at me. I could lose everything I built. All gone because I fell in love with someone 15 years younger. We can still walk away, I said. Say it was a mistake. I can transfer. No. She set down the wine. I'm not walking away. I'm not ashamed of you. I'm not pretending this was a mistake when it's the realest thing I've felt in years. Day 12, my performance review was weaponized. Marketing director called me in. Ryan, your last quarter numbers were concerning. What? I exceeded targets by 15%. Yes, but concerns have been raised about how you achieved those numbers. Questions about whether you received insider information from executive meetings. That's insane. I earned those numbers. I'm sure you did. But perception matters. Given your relationship with Mrs. Morrison, we need to be careful. I'm recommending you step back from Reynolds' account. You're punishing me for being honest. I'm protecting the company from appearance of impropriety. I lost the account I'd earned. Lost credibility. Lost respect. Day 18, Victoria lost 2 major clients. They said they prefer to work with companies that maintain professional standards, she told me. Voice hollow. 20 million in contracts. Gone. Because I'm dating someone younger. I'm so sorry. Don't. This isn't your fault. But her eyes said something different. Said maybe it was. Day 21, HR's final report. We were called in together. Janet read from the document. Investigation findings. No evidence of preferential treatment prior to relationship disclosure. All of Mr. Foster's promotions and assignments were approved by multiple executives and appear merit-based. Relationship began outside of work hours. No policy violations found regarding romantic relationships between employees in different departments. I almost cried with relief. However, Janet continued, the power imbalance between CEO and employee creates appearance of impropriety. Recommended actions. Written warnings for both parties. Mandatory ethics training. Mr. Foster to be transferred to different department to eliminate any reporting relationship. Mrs. Morrison to recuse herself from any decisions affecting Mr. Foster's employment. Not fired. Not terminated. Just scarred. The board meeting was worse. Victoria told me about it that night. 5-4. They voted to keep me as CEO. Barely. That's good. Ryan, I nearly lost my company. 4 board members wanted me gone. Called me a liability. Said I was emotionally compromised and setting a bad example. She looked destroyed. 20 years of perfect leadership. One relationship and I'm suddenly incompetent. I held her while she didn't cry. Victoria Morrison didn't cry. She just broke, silently. But here's what the report doesn't tell you. The real cost we paid. 6 months later, I was still being called boy toy and whispers people thought I couldn't hear. The promotion I'd been promised went to someone else. Big projects? I was not the right fit. My career stalled while everyone else advanced. Victoria's ex-husband used our relationship in court, claimed she was mentally unstable and making poor decisions. The judge sided with him on patent disputes. She lost millions. My family struggled. My mom cried when I told her, said Victoria was taking advantage of me, invited me to Thanksgiving alone. Victoria not welcome. Took 2 years before they'd meet her. Victoria's adult kids, 25 and 22, didn't speak to her for 8 months. Her daughter especially. Called her embarrassing and desperate. We moved in together out of necessity, not romance. Couldn't afford 2 places after Victoria's legal fees destroyed her savings. First year was brutal. Real fights about money, about sacrifice, about whether this was worth it. I gave up everything for you, she said one night. 9 months in, both of us exhausted from another fight about bills. I gave up everything too, I shot back. Your everything was a mediocre career and disappointing your mother. My everything was a company I built from nothing. It was the cruelest thing she'd ever said to me. We didn't speak for 2 days, but then I found her crying in the bathroom at 3 a.m., and I held her, and she whispered, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean it. I'm just tired." I know. Me too. There were nights I lay awake, wondering if everyone was right. If I'd destroyed her life and mine for something that would eventually burn out. But then morning would come. She'd make terrible coffee. I'd burn toast. We'd laugh about how bad we were at domestic life. And she'd look at me like I was still the most interesting person she'd ever met. And I'd remember, this is what real looks like. Messy. Expensive. Worth it. 3 years later, we're still here. Still at Morrison Tech. Still facing whispers. Morrison Tech recovered. Grew. Victoria's leadership proved stronger than gossip. She became a speaker on women in tech, on ageism, on challenging norms, turned our scandal into her platform. My career recovered too. Slower, harder, but I found my footing, proved myself again in the new department. Last month, I got promoted. Finally, we got married last year. Small ceremony at a vineyard outside Seattle. 30 people. Her kids came, both of them, finally. Her son gave a toast about how he'd never seen his mom this happy. Her daughter cried during our vows. My mom cried 2 good tears this time, hugging Victoria and whispering thank you for loving my son. The office sent a card. Professional, distant. Congratulations on your marriage, signed by 18 people. Not the whole department, but they sent it. It felt like winning. She's 48 now. I'm 33. We live in a house we bought together. Both still working at Morrison Tech. Both still choosing each other publicly every single day. People still ask how we make it work with the age gap, the history, the scandal. I tell them the truth. We don't make it work perfectly. We chose each other publicly, knowing it would cost us. And we keep choosing each other every day. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. My name is Ryan Foster. I fell in love with my CEO. It cost me promotions, friendships, easy family relationships, and the safe career I'd planned. Some days, when the gossip flares up, or when I'm passed over for another project, I think about what we gave up. And then Victoria comes home, kicks off her heels, looks at me like I'm still the most interesting person she's ever met, and says, "Thank you for choosing me publicly." And I say, every day, publicly, forever. Because here's the thing they don't tell you about forbidden love that goes public. It's not a romance where everyone eventually accepts you. It's not choosing love and watching the world reward you. It's choosing love and watching the world punish you. Choosing it anyway. Defending it publicly. Fighting for it daily. Explaining it to strangers who ask invasive questions. Justifying it to family who just wants you to be happy but thinks you're making a mistake. Proving it to colleagues who whisper that it was never real. just scandal. It's waking up 3 years later and still having to defend your love. Still having to prove it's not a phase, not a fetish, not a power play. Still choosing each other when it would be easier to walk away. Because safe is easy. Real is expensive. Real costs you sleep and promotions and the easy approval of strangers. But real also gives you mornings where she makes terrible coffee and you burn toast and you both laugh about how you're disasters at domestic life but perfect at loving each other. Real gives you 3 years of choosing each other when the world said you shouldn't. And some people are worth burning your reputation for. Victoria Morrison was worth all of it, is worth all of it. Every whisper, every lost promotion, every awkward family dinner. I'd do it again. Publicly. Without hesitation. That's what love looks like when it costs you everything.